Hello ladies and chaps, and a jolly good welcome to you. I'm Quertier. Thank you very much for joining me for this update video in Hellion. That's right, update 0.2.5, otherwise known as Don't Panic update, has finally been released by the glorious devs of Hellion. I apologise for the lateness of this video, as well as the lack of other videos on my channel as of late. I've currently been going through training to become a train driver, and it's quite an intense process, and I need to have my full concentration on that and all that stuff. So anyway, that's enough of that rubbish. Let's get straight into the update. I'm sure update 0.2.5 will go down in Hellion history as the update that brought a lot more immersion, a lot more fun, and perhaps a lot more difficulty to the Hellion game. It's a massive step in making Hellion a more PvP related game, ship to ship, ship to station, and just combat in general. And it's definitely made for a more interesting start to the game as well, because you really have to plan your move straight off the bat. What do you want to repair first? What do you want to use your starting resources on your ship or your outpost in order to get yourself a better start in the game? So without further ado, let's actually go through the patch notes, and I'll try and show you as much as I can of what there is and try and explain a few bits about it. So, damage and mechanics. Right, so damage, all modules and ships now have health and will take damage from various sources. Collision, degradation, and destruction explosion. So collision goes without saying, you crash into something in your ship, you're going to suffer damage. And whatever you crash into is also going to suffer damage. Degradation, this one's more interesting. It's basically your quarters, your outpost, your ship, it will degrade over time. The modules on it, the solar panels and all the other bits and pieces you have around the outside of the ship, they will be degrading in space, because space, as we all know, is a lethal and inhospitable environment. So the way I imagine it is, meteor strikes, like tiny meteor strikes, is going to cause slow degradation over time. The extreme heat, or extreme heat or cold, that is going to cause a man-made entity to degrade in space over time. I'm not sure what sort of timescale we're talking here. I've not sat there for hours and hours and hours to test how long it takes for things to degrade, but they degrade nonetheless. And destruction explosion, again, goes without saying, if something explodes, it's obviously going to explode, and it will cause damage to nearby entities, other ships, other modules, players as well. And the explosion damage and the size of the explosion depends on the mass of the exploding entity and the active systems on board, i.e. the warp drive, reactor, engine, all that kind of thing. I spent the best part of 2 hours trying to get a clip of my ship exploding, but I couldn't get safe enough distance away. It was very difficult. I needed a second person. No one was available at the time, unfortunately, so I'm sorry to say I haven't got it to show you. I thought it would have been interesting for an update video to see a mule exploding in space. I must have tried 30 times at least to crash my ship into my outpost with me hanging around at a safe distance away, but it seemed no distance away was safe distance. The explosion killed me instantly, so instant that you didn't even see the explosion, and it was quite frustrating. But that just goes to show how far away you have to be from an exploding mule with good fuel and that kind of stuff on it. For all you grenadiers out there who like to use AP grenades will now do damage to the interior modules of ships. So all the little things that you use to keep your ship running from the inside, they will become damaged if a grenade goes off nearby. Doesn't do damage to the outside of the hull, so throwing a grenade in space, trying to damage the outside of the hull doesn't work. You're not going to cause a hull breach. But it will set off other grenades in the area as well. So bear that one in mind next time you throw a grenade through a hatch. So with this damage mechanic, there is also hazards. So if your ship or outpost or base or whatever is damaged, there will be onboard hazards. For example, system failures, fire and breach. So system failures will be things like solar panels not deploying properly, air generator not working properly, that kind of thing. And you'll see the damaged module. You'll see it flickering and arcing and fusing and that kind of thing. Fire and breach are quite obvious. A breach will cause a loss of oxygen and depressurization, and a fire is quite obviously a fire. So if you are running around and your ship is on fire, there are fire extinguishers and things like that you can use to repair the damage. You also have a repair tool, which is obviously used to repair busted up modules. They each take resources. You can reload them. You start off with one of each or two of each, I believe. One in your ship, one on your outpost, and I believe the outpost has 2 fire extinguishers on it at start point. Both quite short on supply, but you can reload it using the outpost cargo terminal. Just a matter of clicking and dragging, the same as before. Nothing's changed in that regard. All modules now spawn with very, very low health, so they're all going to need repairing and repressurizing before they are safe to use. So bear that in mind. Next time you go aboard a module in space, you may need to take your oven gloves, because the whole bloody thing could be on fire for you know. So just bear it in mind for when you're looking around for parts of bases or parts for a base, because it will obviously be knackered and you're going to have to use a lot of resources just to get it back into working order again. I think the other main change in this update would probably be the UI rework. Its first phase, I'm going to read through exactly what it says on the patch notes here, just so I don't get it wrong. So, UI rework first phase, all interface panels reworked for easier understanding and set standards for the elements of each UI. At the moment, all buttons and functions on UI panels share the default design. Further polishing is underway and will replace the default design with lore-friendly visuals and animations for each interface. Following panels were redesigned, and it's gone through the list of panels there: the cryopod, security panel, last port panel, all that stuff. So any interactive panel in the game that you used to click on and to turn things on, turn things off, they have all been changed. Now I've got a feeling the change isn't going to be all that welcome, because when they first changed the nav map, so it wasn't the drop down screen anymore, it just popped up on screen, it was a little bit less immersive. There was a little bit of a backlash about it, but from what I can take away from that paragraph they've written in the patch notes, it's in work in progress. They do plan on making it lore friendly visuals, it says, and animations for each interface. So bear that in mind. It's a working thing at the moment, and hopefully it is going to be improved, and it will look a lot more smoother, a lot better, and will cause a lot less lag than previously. So other tweaks and improvements, there's a small list of smaller tweaks, and it's normally things like loot distribution, added storage slots for new items, that kind of thing. So obviously with the new mechanics come new items, new fuels or more fuels, rebalancing of different fuel and resource levels, and that kind of thing. So I'm not going to really concentrate too much on that, because it is all small stuff. It's literally just a rebalancing of tools and fuels and all that stuff. As per usual, there's a massive list of bug fixes. I'm not going to go through it all again because it's huge. I'll be here all day. But it's the usual stuff, loss of air from airlock tanks, and the usual things that get tweaked and fixed every single update, and still seem to manage to a different version of it seems to manage to come through and cause problems for people playing the game. But I've not had any real bug experiences yet. The only bug I think might be a bug, and I'm not sure if it is, the only thing I think I might have realised is the ship exploding. I was over a kilometre away a couple of times yesterday when my ship exploded, and it was a little blip in the distance, and it still managed to kill me. I couldn't help but think that it may have been a bug, but I don't know. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this update. Obviously this video has just been me reading off the list really, with a little clip for each component part, so I hope it's been good enough for you. Again, I apologise for the lateness of this video. I normally get it out on the day of the update, but I wasn't able to this time around. But yes, I hope you enjoyed the update. If you did, please say so down below. Say what you liked. Also say what you didn't like. If you think it's a load of rubbish, say so. It's always good to get feedback for these things. And I can even pass it on to the devs, or you can pass it on to the devs if you like yourself. There's plenty of ways you can contact them. Yes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave a like. If you'd like to see more, please do subscribe. As I've said, leave loads of comments on that kind of stuff. Join me on my Discord or on the Hellion Discord. I'll leave all the links for them in the description below. Once again, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very, very much for watching. I am Quertier. I hope you have a very nice day, and hope to see you again very, very soon. Thank you, and goodbye.